The Battle of the Camel, sometimes called the Battle of Jamal or the Battle of Basura, took place at Basra, Iraq on the 7th of November 656. Aisha heard about the killing of Uthman, the third caliph. At the time she was on a pilgrimage to Mecca. It was on this journey that she became so angered by his unavenged death, and the naming of Ali as the fourth caliph, that she took up arms against those supporting Ali. She gained support of the big city of Basra, and for the first time, Muslims took up arms against each other. This battle is now known as the First Fitna, or Muslim Civil War. Before the conflict, Talha and Zubair asked Ali the permission for pilgrimage. He let them and they departed. The Medina people wanted to know Ali's point of view about war against Muslims by asking his view about Muawiyah I and his refusal to give Ali his allegiance. So they sent Ziyad bin Hanzala of Taman, who was set on getting the caliphate of Ali because Uthman had died and they wanted to get to kill Uthman. However, they went to Basra, and not Medina where the crime happened. Aisha did not like the fact that Ali ibn Abu Talib was named the caliph. He went back and told the people in Medina that Ali wanted to confront Muawiyah. In Medina, Marwan manipulated people. In Iraq, many people hated the Syrians following the Byzantine-Sassanid wars. Aisha, Talha and Zubair ibn al-Awwam set off from Mecca on their way to Iraq to ask Ali to arrest Uthman ibn Affan's killers, not to fight Muawiyah. Preparation for battle. While passing Medina, on their way to Iraq, Aisha, Talha and Zubair passed a group of Umayyads leaving Medina led by Marwan, who said that the people who had killed Uthman had also been causing them trouble. Everyone then went to Basra, which was the beginning of the first civil war in Islam. Some historians put the number at around 3,000 people. Zubair and Talha then went out to meet Ali. Not all Basra was with them. Bani Bakr, the tribe once led by the second caliph, joined the army of Ali. Bani Tamim decided to remain neutral. Battle. Some chieftains of the Kufa tribes contacted their tribes living in Basra. A chieftain contacted Ali to settle the matter. Ali did not want to fight and agreed to negotiate. He then contacted Aisha and spoke to her. Is it not wise to shed the blood of 5,000 for the punishment of 500? She agreed to settle the matter. Ali then met Talha and Zubair and told them about the prophecy of Muhammad. Ali's cousin Zubair said to him, "What a tragedy that the Muslims who had acquired the strength of a rock are going to be smashed by colliding with one another." Talha and Zubair did not want to fight and left the field. Everyone was happy except the people who had killed Uthman and the supporters of the Qurra, who later became the Khawarij. They thought that if a settlement was reached, they would not be safe. The Qurra launched a night attack and started burning the tents. Ali tried to restrain his men but no one was listening. Everyone thought that the other party had committed breach of trust. Confusion prevailed throughout the night. The Qurra attacked the Umayyads and the fighting started. Talha had left. On seeing this, Marwan shot Talha with a poisoned arrow, saying that he had disgraced his tribe by leaving the field. According to some Shia accounts, Marwan ibn al-Hakam shot Talha, who became disabled in the leg by the shot and was carried into Basra, where he died later of his wound. According to Shia sources, Marwan said, "By God, now I will not have to search for the man who murdered Uthman." In the Sunni sources it says that he said that Talha had disgraced his tribe by leaving the field. With the two generals Zubair and Talha gone, confusion prevailed as the Qurra and the Umayyads fought. Qadikaab ibn Sur of Basra held the Quran on his head and then advised Aisha to mount her camel to tell people to stop fighting, until he was killed by arrows shot by the forces of Ali. As the battle raged, Aisha's forces targeted their arrows to pierce the howdah of Aisha. The rebels led by Aisha then gathered around her and about a dozen of her warriors were beheaded while holding the reins of her camel. However, the warriors of Ali faced much casualties during their attempts to reach Aisha as dying corpses lay piled in heaps. The battle only came to an end when Ali's troops, his commanded, attacked the camel from the rear and cut off the legs of the beast. Aisha fled from the arrow-pierced howdah and was captured by the forces of Ali. Ali's cousin Zubair was by then making his way to Medina. He was killed in an adjoining valley. Aisha's brother Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, who was Ali's commander, approached Aisha, who was aged 45. There was reconciliation between him and Ali pardoned her. He then sent Aisha to Medina under military escort headed by her brother Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, one of Ali's commanders. She subsequently retired to Medina with no more interference with the affairs of state. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr was the son of Abu Bakr, the adopted son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, and the great-grandfather of Ja'far al-Sadiq. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr was raised by Ali alongside Hassan and Hussein. Hassan also accompanied Aisha part of the way back to Medina. Aisha started teaching in Medina and deeply resented Marwan. Tom Holland writes in the best-selling book In the Shadow of the Sword, The Battle for Global Empire and the End of the Ancient World. Marwan was fabulously venal and slippery. Nothing he had done had helped to improve his reputation for double-dealing. Aftermath. Ali's forces overcame the rebels, and the defeated army was treated with generosity. Ali met Aisha and there was reconciliation between them. He sent her back to Medina under military escort headed by her brother Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, one of Ali's commanders. She subsequently retired to Medina with no more interference with the affairs of state. Talha, who became disabled in the leg by the shot and fled the battlefield, was carried into Basra, where he died later of his wound. When the head of Zubair ibn al-Awwam was presented to Ali by Anaf ibn Qais, the Caliph Ali couldn't help but to sob and condemn the murder of his cousin. This reaction caused Anaf ibn Qais resentment and, drawing his sword, stabbed it into his own breast. Marwan I and the Qurra manipulated everyone and created conflict. Marwan was arrested but he later asked Hassan and Hussein for assistance and was released. Ali was later killed by a Kharijite named Abd al-Rahman ibn Muljam while he was praying in the Mosque of Kufa. 2 decades later, after years of planning and scheming and making everyone else fight, Marwan came to power in Syria and the Qurra established a state in southern Iraq. Image and legacy of Aisha. The name of the battle refers to the camel ridden by Aisha. Once the camel had fallen, the battle was over. Some Muslim scholars believe the name was recorded as such in history to avoid linking the name of a woman with the battle. Although Aisha's role in the Battle of the Camel is very controversial, it is clear that some see her as a role model for Muslim women in politics and other roles of leadership. Fatima Mernissi is an example of a Muslim feminist and scholar who sees Aisha as a model for her and other women. She proves this through her works by questioning the authority of the hadith that say women should not lead. Specifically, she states as the mission of her text that this book is a vessel journeying back in time in order to find a fabulous wind that will swell our sails, and send us gliding toward new worlds, toward a time both far away and near at the beginning of the Hajj era, when Muhammad could be a lover and a leader hostile to all hierarchies. When women had their place as unquestioned partners in a revolution that made the mosque an open place and the household temple of debate. By stating this as her mission, she highlights that she would like people to remember the time of clear gender equality and leadership, as demonstrated by Aisha. Aisha's symbolic significance for believers is justified through her close proximity to the Muhammad, identified as part of the new Islamic female elite, the mothers of the believers. Aisha's political importance was not achieved, but ascribed. Sunni and Shiite split. Aisha's depiction in regards to the first civil war in the Muslim community reflected the molding of Islamic definition of gender and politics. Sunni Muslims recognized the tension between Aisha's exemplary status as the acknowledged favorite wife of Muhammad and her political actions as a widow. The Sunni task was to assess her problematic political participation without complete disapproval. Shia Muslims face no such dilemma in their representation of the past. Aisha had opposed and fought Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Shi'i male political and spiritual ideal, in the Battle of the Camel. Her involvement in the first fitna provoked Shi'i scorn and censure, while Sunni authors had the more difficult task of defending her. Moreover, Shias regard Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib as the successor to the Muhammad. As such, they see the following verse in Surah At-Tahrim, where it begins with condemning Aisha as Ali carrying out divine duties against the hypocrites. O Prophet, strive hard against the unbelievers and the hypocrites, and be firm against them. Their abode is hell, an evil refuge. Quran 66-9. Participants: soldiers of Caliph Ali's army: Ali, Malik al-Ashtar, Hassan ibn Ali, Hussein ibn Ali, Abbas ibn Ali, Umayyah ibn Yazid, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, Muslim ibn Aqil, Harith ibn Rabi, Jabir ibn Abdallah, Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiya, Abu Ayyub Ansari, Abu Qatada bin Rabi, Qais ibn Sa'd, Kadham bin Abbas, John Dabi Asadi. Soldiers of Aisha's army: Aisha, Talha ibn Ubaydallah, Muhammad ibn Talha, Zubair ibn al-Awwam, Marwan ibn al-Hakam, Abdul Rahman I, Abdullah ibn al-Walid, Abdullah ibn Hakim, Abdullah ibn Safran, Yahya ibn Hakim ibn Safan, Amir ibn Mas'ud ibn Umayyah ibn Khalif, Ayyibb, Habib b. Al-Qama b. Rabia, Utba, Abdullah ibn Abi Uthman ibn al-Aqnas ibn Shah al-Q. Others involved Abdallah ibn Umar, Hafsa bint Umar, Salama Hind bint Abi Umayyah, unclassified Abdullah bin Amir Hadrami of Makkah, Yala bin Umayyah, Abdullah bin Amir bin Qurayz of Basra, Sa'id bin Ayaz, Mufir bin Shaba,